Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 now of Cut It Out. I am here today with DavidToons, who is a animator, worked on Has Been, Hell of a, Meat Canyon, Monkey Wrench, Astiv movie. Really, like everything, everything big right now, you're attached to. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. Yeah, I've forgotten how many projects there are, so that's you've remembered more than me. So
I'm glad. I have an opener question for you, which is,
Alrighty.
David, would you rather have 100,000 bees follow you for the rest of your life, or be hunted forever by 2 snails that will kill you instantly on contact?
I mean, I feel like this is kind of like similar to like, would I rather like 100, like rather attack 100 old people or like 10 kids? You know, like I feel like the snails would probably be the better option, but there could be an instance where I like just kind of forget about them and then they're right behind my back. So
Yeah.
I'd say the snails. I'm thinking way too. I'd say the snails.
Really?
I don't know if I'm allergic to bees. You know, that could be another thing.
But if you think about it, like, you have 100,000 bees around you. That's like bodyguards your whole life. You don't have to worry about.
Oh, they're not killing me. The bees aren't killing me.
Well, it's not hornets or anything. Bees are chill, unless you step on them.
Then they get pissed.
You
know, I think I'd still have to go with the snails because, like, even though bees are chill, I'd still be freaked out.
You wouldn't get like used to it over time. I'd be like paranoid if 2 snails could come up at any moment.
I mean, I could attack. I'm big enough. I could fight him.
It'll kill you on contact. How are you gonna fight it? Salt?
I'll salt. I'll just get a spatula or something. Like, you know, it's not direct contact. I'll grab something that's like not direct.
Yeah, you'll have to have a spatula.
Maybe I'm thinking way too into this.
No, this is a serious, like, you never know if this could really happen.
Yeah, then again, like, while I'm sleeping, you know, like, just have to hold a baseball bat, like, next to me for the rest of my life.
Sleep in a tube. It's okay.
Yes. I feel like this should be the podcast, just a full hour about, like, whether snails or bees.
I've heard some pretty good arguments. My favorite was harvesting honey. You can make it into a job.
Oh,
Unlimited
shit,
money.
You're right. Yeah,
and, like, be a good civilian. There's a bee shortage, as far as I'm aware. You don't want to help the world?
You want to help the world? You want you want snails to come out and kill you, dude? What's wrong with you?
I don't want that. I'm Team B. I would never want to live in fear of a snail. I'd be terrified.
Again, yeah, I think I'd go for the snails. You know, it'd be like I'd always be on my feet. I'd always be alerted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, very, very interesting. Team Snail and Team B. Thank you for answering.
Yeah. Wonderful. Like, have you asked this question to the others? Like, what were their answers?
No, I asked. Sir Palo was 100 gorillas versus 1 man.
Right.
He was team gorilla. I was team man. And I just chatted with Mirandamations and I asked, would you rather have a head the size of a tennis ball or a watermelon? And they went for watermelon.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah, that is surprising because
Yeah, like,
Miranda, get your shit together.
Miranda, like, what's wrong with you? Because if you're like, you'd always win hide and seek. Come on now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think a watermelon is it's obnoxious. I would never want to have.
I mean, look at Stewie Griffin, dude. Like, Stewie Griffin's a prime example of watermelon head.
Yeah, but I kind of like him, so don't change my mind. To move on to real questions now about you. You were a fan of Eddsworld and TomSka before eventually working for them. So you obviously have like crazy manifestation powers. Do you have any dream projects or series you want to animate for?
Yeah, I mean, Eddsworld and Tom, that was it's weird because Tom, he has known me since I was like 14, so like I told him I was a fan of like Edward and whatever, and he was like, cool, you know, like, it's great that you want to do animation. Maybe we'll work together one day. So if anyone's manifesting, it's him. He's the one to blame.
True, he's like a genie.
Exactly. No, but projects at the moment I would kill to work on would probably be Lackadaisy and Smiling Friends.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Oh, totally.
I feel like Lackadaisy, due to, you know, the fact that it's just such a, I mean, all indie shows are as equally unique, but there's something about Lackadaisy that just stands out amongst the rest, and I think the work on it is beautiful. And also looks challenging, which I love a challenge when it comes to work. And Smiling Friends, I mean, that's a given.
Of course. I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to work on Smiling Friends.
Exactly. Like, every voice actor, every animator, like, everyone wants to work on this, because it is a game changer for Adult Swim.
It really is. On the subject of, like, challenging yourself with animation, the ones you've worked on, like, flip-flop so hard. You go from Spindle Horse to Jam Sandwich to Odd Ones Out to Monkey Wrench to Meat Canyon. How do you learn how to swap between simplistic styles to really complicated ones?
Well, I think that's a good question. You know,
Thank you.
I don't know. Like, I feel like like I said, I like a challenge, but I also, one thing I like is, like, I don't know, not consistency. Like, I like to change things up constantly. So, like, I love working on Spindle Horse. It is a complicated art style, and it's a fun challenge to work with. But my God, I don't know how some of those animators can work on that show full time. Like, I don't mean that as disrespect. I just mean, like, someone like me has to work on different things. So it's a nice break to jump to, like, someone like Ice Cream Sandwich, and then jump over to, like, The Odd Ones Out, and then, like, back to Hell of a Boss. That's kind of like the main three I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years now. But I don't know. I think in terms of, like, how I'm able to work around those art styles, it's just I think with Eddsworld, I had to, because that was my first professional job, I had to really teach myself how to work in that art style. Like, I usually do a lot of research for when I'm working on a new project. Like, I look at the character designs, I look at previous animation, just to really try and get it as correct as possible. And I guess that's just my ability now, which is a cool one to have. Like,
yeah,
it
for sure. Do you have any, like, warm-up before you start animating, or is it just straight into it? Let's go.
Usually my warm-up, like, if I'm doing, like, rough animation, my warm-up is just doodling on the canvas. Like, I used to do warm-up, just, like, have an art book or whatever, like, next to me, but yeah, you know, usually it's just I try and jump right into it. It's yeah, I'm trying to think what else I do. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I think it's just because I'm so used to it now. I'm like, I can kind of just easily jump right into, like, the Hell of a Boss art style or the James art style. If it's for, like, a one-off, like, Meat Canyon, that might take a little bit longer to get used to the style. But
that's a tricky style sketches to replicate, I'm sure. Especially with the stuff that you'd have to draw. You did make an old animation, because, of course, I was lurking, right? I know you made a video kind of hinting where you'd listen to music while animating. Do you have any like, favorite musicians or songs to listen to while animating, or?
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, it used to be just music, but I think maybe a year or two ago now, like, I just started listening to streamers.
Jerma?
Yeah, Jerma. I talk about him to no day's end.
Every Jerma fan, yeah. Queso as well. Oh, I love him.
I don't know what it is. Like, it's like, when I tell people that I like Jerma, they're like, "Oh, why don't you listen to a podcast then? Because that is pretty much what you're doing. Like, you're just listening to their audio." But there's just something about these streamers, like, listening to them play games. Plus, in my instance, I'm not much of a as much as my background tells you that I am a gamer, I am not much of a gamer due to my work. So listening to, like, Jerema playing a new game or whatever, it's like, I don't know. it's cool to kind of backseat while I work. It's like being in a Discord call and not having to
Definitely.
speak to the
Yeah.
other person.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Germa stream or game that he's played?
Oh god, his Deltarune series for
Yeah.
sure. Like he jumped into the role of Queen right away and like he slayed it with his voice.
Yeah,
Um
I love his Spore gameplay too if you haven't seen it yet. Oh my
I
god,
haven't.
it was the best thing I've ever seen, as well as Wobble Dogs. I feel like you'd like that.
I genuinely think that with the voices he pulls for like the games that he plays, like he should be a voice actor. I know
He
he's done a few
should.
voice roles, but
He
he's just
totally
fabulous
should.
at it.
Yeah, Queso too, honestly. He like always balances not overstimulating and
Yeah,
energetic. Cause I can't watch like Speed or Kai Cenat. It's too much.
yeah. No, like that's that's exactly it. Like with Jeremy Queso, like those sort of gamers that can just like it really is just the sort of streamers that can sit and play a game and they talk to you like as if you're in the room, but you don't have to talk back. Like those are the streamers I go for.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of music, because you did ask about
Yes,
music,
yeah.
indie music's usually the one I fuck with. Oh, sorry, am I allowed to
No,
swear? By the
totally.
way?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, like there's an Australian band called Lime Cordial. They
Ooh.
are my go-to indie rock.
Yeah.
Um, who else? Like, I forgot the name of him, but he's this. There's a guy that like made a song about like a dirt man or something. So Carter Vale.
Okay. I think
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard of
yeah.
him.
Just really anything that's on the Spotify indie playlist.
Yeah. Do you
Is
ever
my bread and butter.
do you ever listen to soundtracks of the projects you work on, like Has Been Hotel soundtracks or like things
Oh
like
god,
that to
yeah.
get in the vibe? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, when the Has Been like soundtrack came out, that was
It is so good. It is
it
so
really
good.
is.
Yeah, I've,
I remember I heard the has like even the Has Been like intro and outro or whatever, like
mhm.
they were double checking credits or whatever for when the episode was done. They're like, "Hey, we just want to check that everyone's name is in this." So they sent like a quick clip, and even that, I was just like, "Holy shit, the music slaps!"
Yeah.
Like, um, yeah, like active movie music, anything really. I just anything that just like neuron activates my brain,
Yes,
like,
totally. I hear a funky
yeah,
beat and I go crazy.
exactly. Funky music, Deltarune soundtrack as well. That's another
Yes.
one to go for. Yeah.
Yes, and the fan songs. Like that fandom cooks every time.
It's crazy that what 5 days from now, as of this recording, like
Mhm.
Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 will be out. Like I am so hyped to hear what the music
Yes.
is in that.
You do animation and illustration, of course, but have you thought
Hmm.
about music or you do voice acting as well? Um,
Dabbled a bit in it. Yeah, I wanted to do voice acting back during the pandemic, but I don't know how your voice actors do it for real. Like
did
I just
you audition? Was it like working on friend stuff? How did that go?
for voice acting,
Mhm.
yeah, usually it was just friend stuff. And I mean, I there was one time recent, like I guess this counts as voice acting, but there was a time recently when uh Odd Ones Out DM'd me after we finished a video, and like he does this whole bit in the credits where he's like talking. He's like, "Hey, thanks for watching." Da 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 da
Yeah.
da. And he was like, "Could you just like do my outro, but do a really thick Aussie accent?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it. Like, why not?" And it was funny just seeing people in the comments being like, "Damn, James can do a really good
Yeah.
Australian impression." Like, dude,
Yeah, this is
It's
real.
like,
It's crazy.
yeah, I can't believe he can do that. But yeah, I do it occasionally. In terms of music, though, um, I would love to. I have animator friends who have that god ability of like being able to do like more than one creative
Yeah.
skill. But music is just it's something that like I was gonna study in college, but I was like, animation is my main priority, so I
Mhm.
had to prioritize like doing graphic design instead for like my not my optional courses, like my free courses, like being like, oh, you can do whatever you want in the creative industry. And I wanted to pick music courses, but it just made more sense at the time to pick graphic design in case the animation thing didn't work out.
Yeah. You didn't go to? Did you go to art school, or was that just an additional course? Blah.
No. So I went to a private college because my high school scores were just not good enough to go to like
Yeah.
a 4-year college. Like I didn't give a shit about ancient history in my final high school exam.
Yeah.
You know. But I found like a course that was like, oh, you just have to prove that you finished school, and you can do like a 2-year course in like a sped up course in your creative field. So I went to SAE, which is originally a sound audio technician university, but then it kind of expanded out into different fields. So I did that from 2019 to 2021.
Okay, so you were working on Eddsworld at the time and lots of other animation stuff. How was that balancing your animation jobs and school at the same time?
It was a lot. I mean, I think I don't know if this sounds good to say, but like it definitely helped with the pandemic, because it was like when I first started with college, it was like I had to get like on a bus into the city. That was like a 40-minute trip to and from, and then I'd like go home, do work, and I also worked at McDonald's at the time, and I'd like have to do night shifts from like
all of it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But I was dedicated primarily with the freelance work. Like McDonald's was if there was a gig that came up, I would just tell McDonald's like, get some other teenager to take my shifts. But yeah, then the pandemic kind of helped out with that, where I was able to do both freelancing and studying from home. But it was a lot. I don't know how I did it, to be honest. Like even now, I'm just like, I don't know how I had all that energy to like get up, do like 4 or 5 hours of college, then like go to work for like a 5-6 hour shift, and then go home, because I also did social media management for Eddsworld, so that would require me to like make. I had to do like posts for Eddsworld at like 2-3 a.m. my time, which would be like 12-1 p.m. the UK time. So it was just. It got to a point though where I was like, I think Eddsworld is more than like I was working with Eddsworld and a storytime YouTuber, the Amazing, at the time, and I was like, I think they're paying me fine. I'm making more money from them than I have at McDonald's, so I had to like kind of like let go of that security that was like a weekly gig at McDonald's, because it just became too much. So
yeah.
And so I have no clue how I survived.
But you did, and you were thriving. That's crazy. I didn't know you were working at McDonald's at the same time.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't morning shifts, because I worked fast food and morning shifts was awful. I did opening.
It did become morning shifts, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did like, there was a stage that I was doing like overnight shifts, and then I told my boss like, I'm getting tired of doing night shifts, and they're like, oh, actually no, I said to them, I was like, because I was good friends with my boss, I was like, dude, I hate customers, and he was like, well, you could do stock management instead, which is like just basically ordering all the supplies for a restaurant and then like carrying them in and shuffling them around or whatever. And I was like, that sounds like fun and a job that like doesn't require me to talk to people.
Yeah.
When do I start? And he was like, usually you'll have to come in at like 4 to 5 a.m. So like,
yeah.
It got to a point that I was mentally burning myself out, and I was just like, I like saw that I was like making only like $100 paychecks for McDonald's, and I was like, I'm making more money from the freelancing thing. I don't really need this.
Yeah, totally. With burnout, how do you deal with and overcome burnout with like animation?
Well, I mean, I think I deal with a bit of frequent burnout, in particular because I mean, my ADHD is just kind of like that, where like I'll just have several tasks on top of me, and then suddenly I'll be like, nope, don't want to do it. I'm gonna go and sit and
Sleep.
play Fortnite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep or like play Fortnite for like 3-4 hours. And if that happens, like usually if I've got burnout, like it was a lot easier to deal with burnout when I wasn't like paying bills and like and rent and whatever, because it was like I could actually just take time off.
You really
But
could, yeah.
now it's just kind of like, no, this is your job, and if you don't do this job, you don't pay rent. So I kind of just have to like kind of treat myself like a toddler and be like, okay, we're gonna work on this, then we're gonna work on this, and then we'll take like a 2-hour break. How's that sound? And just like giving myself small goals. Or I use a method called the Pomodoro timer, which is like 25 minutes to work, then a 5-minute break, and then you just repeat that a few times.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would get distracted in those 5 minutes. You're better than me.
yeah, 5 minutes of doom scroll and then back to work.
Yeah, exactly. You also do like your own animations for YouTube when you can. In your opinion, what's your most underrated video or animation?
Oh God. I'd have to take a look, because it's been a minute since I've made any videos. Well, yeah, I guess I'd say like my like I made like an Oni Plays animation.
Yes.
God, now it was like 2 years ago, but that was like just when I quit Edgeworld, and I was like, because at the time I was like, I just want to work on a project for myself. So like I spent a good couple weeks working on that, and then that was around the time that Odd One Dad hired me. So like I just got the video out and didn't really think about it, and it definitely has like I'm not grateful. It has more than 50,000 views.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, I worked a bit on that one.
Give me more.
I do wish I could work. Yeah. But you know, like I'm happy with all the videos I've made. Some of them have just been more shit posty and not really needing views, I guess. That's kind of what just all my videos are, I guess, now these days, though. Just like shit posts for when I need to work on something for myself.
Yeah. What are your favorite things to animate? Like your favorite scenes, whether they're happy, arguments, fights?
Oh, I guess with like, because it depends. Like with Hell of a Bus, I love all the shots I work on, but sometimes I'm just like, damn, I would prefer.
Those, yeah.
Yeah, but really, sometimes they're just like, sometimes I just want a shot that's like them talking and that's it, and not like crazy actions or whatever. Like,
yeah.
So you know what? I guess like with Hell of a Bus, I do like my favorite shots are the challenging ones, but not challenging in the sense of like this will take me months to work on. And with like Ice Cream Sandwich, I think my favorite sort of shots to work for him are like ones where it really embraces the simplistic goofiness. Like it'll be him like kicking someone, and it'll just be like a simple animation, but it'll just be so fucking funny.
It is. It's like Smiling Friends vibes.
It really is. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that like his animations are like the New Day Astif movie.
Yeah.
Which actually, it's funny. Because when I worked on Astif movie, I think there was a note that Tom had given that I got through my friend Billy, who was the lead animator for like the last Astif movie. He was like, "Yeah, Tom wants to try and go for like an Ice Cream Sandwich-esque goofy style," and I was like, "Really?" I like told Ice Cream Sandwich about it. I was like, "Tom's inspired by you now." Like that's funny.
I love that.
We're all inspiring one another. It's the whole world go round. With James, you know, his Bubble Man is always fun to animate, but right now we're working on a Pokemon video, and I have to say, considering my Sona, it is fun to work on that.
Really, you like Pokemon?
I mean, not really. I'm more of a Digimon fan, you know.
Yeah. Your wiki page says that you hated Pokemon as well.
I don't know why. Like, It's people on my server. They're just like, yeah, you know what? He's not a Lucario. Let's just put that on the wiki. My wiki is just a shit post, man.
Yeah, I was like looking at it. I'm like, wait, is he actually just like a big bit where he really doesn't like Lucario? I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, it still my wiki still says like I'm best known for like a Vanos gaming animation I made when I was 15. Like I feel like the whole page is a shit post.
Yeah. In 2017, you tweeted out 3 animators who were your inspirations. Can you remember which ones you wrote?
Oh shit. The re-inspirations. I feel like one of them would have had to be Ed Gould because that one I still stand by. Paul Tavord because his work is just fabulous. Like everything he does outside of like
Yes,
the
I'm
Edward legacy.
such a big fan of his stuff. He's so cool.
And seeing the stuff that he does in Smiling Friends, like again, it's just it's insane.
Yes.
The third animator, it was it Billy Crinion by any chance?
No, okay. There were Speedoru,
Mhm.
if I said that right.
Oh shit! Yep.
Greg Zilla
Oh,
and Paul Tervord. So,
wow, I got only one right. Well, you know what?
only
I
one
still
out of your
stand on
own
Greg Zilla.
inspirations.
I still stand on Greg Zilla. His work is just insane, and I mean, since then I've gotten the privilege to work with his like rough animation on Haliva, and it is his work is just a sight to see. It's like Portavore-esque,
Yes.
like amazement. And Speedo, I mean, his parodies back in the day were so fucking funny, and I love that he still implements that a bit even now. But like, what is it? He's got his new indie show that
Yes,
just came out.
I think that's what it's
Yeah,
called.
no, it's amazing to see like him grow as going from like a parody animator to like actually having his own show and his own like original writing, I guess. Very cool.
That happens like a lot lately, and it makes me wonder if you ever had a time. Would you ever consider making your own pilot or series?
I have always been a terrible writer, so
I feel you.
I haven't struck gold on an idea yet. Like I think the only writing I've ever done was for an Eddsworld parody I made when I was 14. But like, yeah, I think if I ever wrote something, I would have to co-write it with somebody and just actually have them have professional experience in writing a show. But yeah, like I think my passion more at the moment is working for other people's shows, and you know, I've been also asked like if I would ever consider having like a indie animation studio, if not a show myself.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm like maybe like I never say never.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm having fun just working on other people's channels and experimenting and seeing how they work as a production team. So maybe I'll get the inspiration to do something like that one day. But
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
yeah.
You made a short film called The Sweater, where you were replicating tons of different styles. Did you learn any animation tricks from doing that?
Oh my god, the sweater. Yeah, that was my final college project that I did with 3 or 4 it was another animator, and yeah, no, it like at the time, like, so my college course was primarily 3D animation, so a lot of the other people in my course were like, oh, we're gonna make a 3D project of this, a 3D project of that. And like the only 2D artists and animators I knew, like we came together and we were just like, yeah, we really don't want to like animate shit in Blender. Could we just like make a 2D project? And one of my inspirations for that idea was one of Speeder's old music videos. I forgot the name of it, but it was like, I think it was a video about like a character like going into their arcade machine or whatever, and it was like various different art styles. And I was like, why don't we do something like that, where it's like just a character, he has like a purpose to go into these different worlds.
Yeah.
And it was a very it was a good project, don't get me wrong, but it was very much just like, this is the best idea we could think of.
Okay.
Like,
It was
yeah,
fun. It was cool seeing that. Um,
yeah.
what was your favorite? Because you had like The Simpsons, you had Disney, Scooby Doo in that one, Looney
Mm.
Tunes. What was your favorite part of that to make?
Um, oh gosh, I think like in terms of my favorite part to make myself, probably would have been probably like the Simpsons art style. It was a very simple animation, but it's just like, I don't know, the Simpsons is so iconic that it was
Yeah,
like interesting to try and animate in that style. But truthfully, I think my favorite scene out of that short film was the Disney style, which wasn't animated by me, but it was uh it was so like on model in my opinion for like
totally.
traditional Disney animation. Very fun to look at.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
And you did 3D you were talking about.
yeah.
Why don't you do more of that? Because I know you did one scene for Ed's World, which was like a car crash for the Beaster
Mhm.
Bunny. Have you done it in any other
Oh
projects?
wow.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
my research.
You did your research. Um, yeah. I don't know. I've spoken to other animators about this where they've been like, yeah, like I got taught how to work in a medium that I didn't want to do, and suddenly I didn't have inspiration outside of college for that. And I kind of relate to that where I was like, I learned how to animate in Maya,
Mhm.
which, in my opinion, Maya is such an outdated program that we really only hold on to because it's like we big corporate companies still consider it the industry standard, whereas like Blender
Oh,
is so much more advanced and it's like you can do so much more with it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've dabbled with a bit of 3D here and there, and I've used it for previs like I did with Eddsworld. But yeah, maybe I'll get around to it one day. It's just I think once I left college, it was kind of like, oh wow, I don't want to do that as a full-time job.
Yeah.
Which is why I really pushed myself to try and get into 2D, which thankfully it worked.
Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely.
but yeah. So to be announced, I guess is the answer.
To be announced, maybe. Um,
Maybe.
yeah, geez, like we sped through those all. I was
Oh my god,
not
I'm
expecting.
sorry.
We do have fan questions. We got some comments here, which
Hmm.
is from Zyra. Did you always see yourself doing animation?
Yeah. Um I I think like the only other career I had in mind was like when I was like 10 because I read Tintin comics and
Mhm.
he's a journalist, so I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to do that."
Oh, and you don't
Which
like writing?
yeah, and I hate writing, which very much a different answer, but no,
Yeah.
animating has like been something I've wanted to do since I was like maybe 11 or 12. Like Edgeworld, really, it's crazy how much Edgeworld like impacted my life as much as it did because it
Yeah.
was just like I found a video one day and then suddenly I just watched more of Ed's videos, and that was 2011, 2012. So that was during the when the Edgeworld Legacy era began. Um,
Mhm.
and just like those videos alone made me want to be an animator myself.
Yeah, you can really
Um,
see it with your first ever YouTube video. I was like, "Oh, I see this. This is Ed's World. This is just Ed's World."
oh, straight up, yeah. And like as I'm glad that like I was a part of the fandom when I was, but I'm also glad that I left the fandom when I did because like my art style was very Edgeworld-esque, and I think when Edgeworld Legacy ended in 2015, 2016, I was just like, yeah, might be a good time to like step away and discover my art style, discover like other things because I was obsessed with the show.
Yeah.
And I think that made me a overall better animator by doing that. Yeah, it's just been something I've always seen in mind which is both great, but also like if this doesn't go well, I'm like, shit, I don't really have anything else
Yeah,
to
like
go to.
start streaming. He could be the new Germa. Come on now.
The new Gemma. I mean, I have like for maybe the first 10 years, animation was always on my mind, and these days, I have had to ask myself like, well, what do I want to do next if like animation starts to get tiring? And I think it'll still always be in the creative field, but like
Yeah.
I'm now looking more towards like like I've always been interested in like production management, and like
Ooh.
I would like to be a lead of a project one day. uh just haven't found the right one, or more so haven't
Or
found
make
anyone
your
who
own.
wants me as a lead. Or make my own, make my own project. But yeah, if I don't do this, it'll probably just be still something in animation, just like managing a team instead. I
Yeah.
think that could be fun.
Have you ever done animation for games? Like Ina Dream Barbecue has like animated sprites in there. Have you ever thought about doing something like that or got to do that?
I haven't myself, but I wouldn't be objected to it. I mean, I have seen Indigo Park and how they implement
Yes.
2D animation. I'm just like, hey, like I didn't realize that the guy who created that was following me until like last year, and I was just like,
Oh.
hey, you need more
Yeah.
animators?
Let me
Call
in.
me.
Let me
Yeah.
in.
And I kind of did it as a joke, where I was like, "Hey, if you need more people," and I did like the finger pointing emojis, and then
Yeah.
like he DM'd me, and he was like, "We'll be in contact," and I was like,
Oh.
"What?"
It's so serious. Yeah, that's how the Odd Ones Out did that to you. So like reversed.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, he did that. I mean, with James, it was I first applied to be part of his team when he had like a public listing open like a Google form.
Wow.
I never heard back from it. But my friend did, and at the time I was like, "Oh, I'm really happy for you." But on the other hand, I'm upset that they didn't contact me.
Yeah.
And then just when I started working on Has-Been, I was teaching myself Toon Boom because for years I had been a Flash animator, and Toon Boom was this whole new world.
Yeah.
It's like a gamer going from an Xbox to a PlayStation. It's just like you gotta learn the new controls or whatever. And I made a tweet about it, and then James just randomly DM'd me, and he was like, "Do you want a job?" And I was like, at the time I was like, "I'll think about it." And then I quit Edgeworld, and I was like, "Hey James, I actually need a job now."
Yeah.
And I was expecting him to say no, but he was like, "Yes, you can come join, of course." I was like, "Oh."
I love that. So you were
No.
always an Odd Ones Out fan. You also worked on
Yeah.
Jaden Animations too, right?
No.
Oh,
So the Storytime YouTubers I've worked with have been Ice Cream Sandwich, The Odd Ones Out, and The Amazing. He was the main guy I animated with for a couple of years. Jaden, I wouldn't be objected to. I
Yeah.
love her
Jaden,
art style,
please,
and
yeah.
her team is great.
yeah. It's you probably hear like a lot of stories now.
Oh yeah, no, just the people I know on the Jaden team, we kind of just shoot the shit back and forth where like a video will come out and we'll be like, "Hey, this is great. How'd you animate this?" Like I've got
Yeah.
a it's always interesting to talk about behind the scenes with them, and they give their behind the scenes info back without breaking our NDAs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Of course.
no, but uh gotta love the Storytime YouTuber field for hiring all these people.
Totally.
I genuinely think if it weren't for Storytime YouTubers, the animation like field would be a lot more of a nightmare than it has kind of been already.
Absolutely. It's like a huge pillar in even YouTube content as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, is there scenes that you struggle animating with, like specifically, like if there's like certain poses you hate doing, or
Well, for a while, for Andy, Ice Cream Sandwich, his like the biggest challenge I had was uh drawing in his style because it's so simple. But and initially when I joined his team, I thought like, oh, this is simple, this is going to be easy. But it's like actually, the simpler the animation is, the more notes you're gonna get for it. Because like if you
Oh.
mess it up a little bit, then it's just like, it's not gonna have that aesthetic, or it's not gonna have that vibe. So with Andy, it took me a while to understand like how to draw like the same goofy mouths he does, or like
Yeah.
really match his timing with like how he animates stuff. I still find myself going back to his videos before I joined the team to kind of like remind myself like, okay, he animated like something like this, or like
Mm.
he draws mouths like that. Just but that was a big challenge. With James, it was I'm trying to think. With James, it was more like it's a double-edged sword, because like with Hell of a Boss, it's so detailed, and that's a challenge in itself. With James, it's like his character's a bubble, like it's just a
Yeah.
white guy with like blue shading. So like any mistakes you make, they're gonna be more likely seen on the bubble guy than they are on the like Hell of a Boss
That's
characters.
such a good
So like
point.
I have to make sure his stuff is really clean, and like I still do with Hell of a Bus, but like if there's like a line that is seen it for 1 second, or like where it's not supposed to be, like it's not like a Hell of a Bus fan is gonna pause it and be like, "Hey, this is an error."
This isn't right. Yeah. Do you get like I know somewhere they were talking about Ed's World, they gave like do's and don'ts sheets with like certain mouths you should use and ones you shouldn't. Do you get those
Mhm.
with Storytime animators and Helva, or can you say? I'm not sure.
Um, well, the good thing with however, like my department is cleanup animation, so pretty much all the rough animation has been approved and ready to like my job is just to do the line art and coloring.
Mm.
So we really just get do's and don'ts on like how to color a character, like how to layer things out, or how to do line art. And with that, it's just like for hell of it, it's very industry standard,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is what I love about working on the show. It's like then I jump to like the odd ones out, and he's got a full storyboard team that all work in their own unique art styles, and we have someone that does draw overs for like main body poses for James to kind of just already draw the mouths and like the hands in the odd ones out style. So it's never really an issue about like capturing the do's and don'ts.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally with James, like he doesn't really have like an animation bible compared to the other YouTubers I've worked with. He
Yeah.
kind of just lets each animator work in their own art style. Or not their own art style. He kind of lets each animator work in their own like animation techniques. Just as long as the art style is on model to his bubble guy, I guess. Ice Cream
Yeah.
Sandwich, he, on the other hand, gave us a full Bible of like
Wow.
how to draw mouths, how to draw eyes, the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Um, we had we even had a call of like, because his character just kind of like moves from one side of like his character will either like lean left or bounce to lean right, and
Yeah.
like we got in a call once just like, here's how you do the bounce, like here's how don't do it so intense, do it slightly, just like I said, his style is so simple, but he's probably got like the most notes I've seen, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
um yeah, no, so out of anyone, I'd say Ice Cream Sandwich's Bible is probably the biggest.
Yeah, that's surprising to hear too. In the process of animation, you do like cleanup, but are there other parts you like where it's like rough animation, storyboarding, coloring? What's your favorite part of animation?
um, so for a while it was cleanup animation, and it still is. But there has been a part of me over the years that has wanted to start embracing doing like rough animation more.
Yeah.
And I've kind of used James's videos as a way to work on my rough animating skills.
Mm.
Uh, because it's just like, if you animate something for yourself, you can make it as like scribbly and sketchy as you want, because you're still gonna be able to easily translate it yourself when you're finishing, like doing all the final line art later
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas like rough animation on a production, it's like the rough animation actually has to be really clean, so then other departments understand how to animate something. um which has been like I guess I've like learned a lot of things from Hell of a Bus over the years, and seeing how like the animators do their roughs and kind of practicing those skills on James's videos, as if trying to put myself in a situation like, oh, what if these roughs were given to someone else to clean up? So that is something I'd like to do professionally one day. And I was going to do rough animation on Monkey Wrench last year, but I didn't have time, unfortunately. So
that is such a fun animation style. It's so like fluid and everything. How did you meet that team? Was it through like friends of friends, or did they have applications?
Monkey Wrench I applied for, which I was surprised to hear back at all, to be honest. I don't know, maybe that's like a part in every creative's brain when they apply for a job. You kind of have self-doubt and you're like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get this. But I was surprised. No, Zarel's art style is amazing, and working with his team. I worked on one episode, but it was fun being a cleanup animator for something that was outside of Hell of a Bus. And that was around the time I also did cleanup on like Meat Canyon. So usually these days it's like I'll either send out an application for something, or a YouTuber will reach out to me and be like, hey, you're a cleanup artist, could I hire you for your services? Which I try and do, but I've also, as of recent, been trying to limit myself on the amount of jobs I take. Because back in the day, like I said, like I used to be able to do like college, work at McDonald's, and work with these YouTubers all at once. And there was a point about 2 years ago, I was just like, I counted how many videos I worked on over the year, and I was like, I've worked on nearly 30 videos for different YouTubers, and then I had to like sit there, I was like, how many times have I gone out and socialized this year? And when I realized it was like less than 10, I was like, I need to prioritize my social life a bit more. So these days I just try and stick to the main three, with the off occasion of like, maybe I'll work on someone else's project. Like, I think the next project I'm going to be working on outside of like the main three guys is that new indie show, This and That.
Oh, really? I've seen that one around. That's so cool.
I was one of the first cleanup animators that they reached out to, because I'm mutuals with them, and they're like, hey, I love your stuff on However. Do you want to join? So that'll probably be the only indie project I work on. Otherwise, if Lackadaisy or Jaden are looking for people, hit me up.
Please.
Oh shit, smiling friends.
Yes, if they see us, grab us both, please.
Yeah, we're all out here struggling.
Yeah. You were talking about like going out and socializing. You do go to, I saw you post about like furry conventions, but have you gone to animation conventions or ones like that and then like signed prints yet? Have you been invited as a guest?
So outside of furry conventions, I went to a con last year in California, Lightbox, which is
I've heard of it.
Like art/animation focused, or like more just like from what I saw, it's like kind of like a combination of like industry people and also indie people selling stuff. That was a really fun experience. Conventions just as a whole have been something I have been really trying to push myself to go to more often, because back in the day I was just kind of like, I wasn't interested in cons. Not that I hated them, I was just like, don't know if it's really my vibe. And then the Sydney-based FurCon here was like, hey, do you want to come as guest of honor? Which basically entailed them being like, you get a free ticket, you get like hotel paid for, whatever,
totally.
like everything's paid for, basically. And I wasn't sure, because I was like, oh, I haven't been to like conventions too much, and I don't know if people would be like, oh, why'd this fucking guy get guest of honor? But it was quite the opposite. I mean, furry conventions, they're a vibe, dude.
Oh, totally.
Like,
yeah,
they're a fun vibe, and I've been trying to go to more of them. Currently, at the moment, I'm trying to expand out into like selling stuff at, like, I'm gonna try first at FurCons, and then if it does well, then it kind of expand out to like animation cons, or like I don't want to say, I don't think they're called out, like Comic Cons. Like I had a friend at the last con I went to who was just kind of like, I really think you could sell stuff at a table, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what I'd
Totally.
sell. And they're like, the generic stuff, posters, keychains, pins. Like, give it a go. So the next FurCon I'm going to, they allowed me to have like one day to like sell stuff and see if it works or not. If so yeah,
That's awesome. You gotta update how that goes.
for sure.
Have you ever gotten like trouble from Pokemon for like having a Lucario OC, or has there been like
No,
not yet?
no, not yet. I mean, hell, I've seen mutuals with like Lucario fursuits, and they haven't, you know, they haven't gotten in trouble. So I'm assuming I should be good as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, no, but I did get a what was it? I did get like a warning from the Pokemon International Company back in
Really?
2017 because I sold stuff on Redbubble back then,
Oh,
and like
Redbubble.
and I I made Pokemon designs and they all got taken down, and I got like just email after email being like, you're being like warned for having this up and this up and this up. And I think it wasn't like, I was about to say, I don't know if it was serious legal threats, but it is Pokemon and Nintendo, and they've had a
Yeah,
reputation
they
for
don't
suing
play.
people. They don't fuck around. But otherwise, for my Sona, not really. I just play it safe, and I don't sell Pokemon stuff. I
Yeah,
sell Blue Dog stuff at conventions. Blue
yeah,
Dog Aura,
yeah.
Aura Dog.
Australian blue
Not
dog. Now you got blue after
exactly.
me.
Not related to the Pokemon International Company in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, no, but I have actually been like looking into. I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but like, I've had I've missed out on opportunities of like selling plushies or like doing merch of my Sona just because
Yes.
the fact it is a existing IP.
Mhm.
So just whenever I have the free time, I've been like trying to figure out how to like turn this Aura dog into
It's a
like
parody.
just a parody so then I can sell shirts and stuff and actually make money outside of animating.
Yeah, yeah. That's exciting. Selling merch.
Yeah.
Um,
So a little rebrand, hopefully sometime.
ooh, or you could do what Ellis Mark did. He had like it was White Dog instead of Brian, and he managed to get away with it. So
Oh
this
shit.
would be good. Blue Dog. Blue Dog is totally cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't sue me for using the same shade of blue Pokemon.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
own?
Pokemon. Yeah.
What do you own the hex code? Like, get out of here. But yeah, I've been considering changing my Sona. But we'll see. I feel like I'm kind of more known as the blue animated dog, like Lucario dog
Yeah.
animator in the community. So I'm just like, maybe I'll keep it. Haven't decided.
When you work on like different projects,
Mm.
do you have you worked with like friends that you didn't even know were working on projects? Like you did Monkey Wrench for an episode. Meat
Mhm.
Canyon. Have you ever been like, wait, I recognize you. We've worked together.
Oh yeah. No, all the time. It's something I love about the indie community. It's that like,
So small.
which is kind of yeah, it is small, but it's also large at the same time.
Yes.
I don't know how to really put it. It's just I've bumped into my mutuals several times on these projects. Like on Monkey Wrench, there were a lot of people that also worked on like Hell of a Boss, and I'm just like, yo, there you are. Um, like I'm trying to think another example. Um, I recently joined the Jellybox team because they're now
Yes.
working on ice cream sandwiches videos. So I saw a lot of animators and like other furry artist mutuals I know of on there. I'm just like, yo, shit. So it happens all the time. I love it.
Yeah. Have you got to meet any of your mutuals yet?
The first time was actually at Lightbox, because a lot of people. I mean, that's probably the one con about my job is that all the friends I've made in the animation community are primarily based in like the US or the
Yeah.
UK. So it is a bitch to try and get in contact with them. And last year was like the first time I actually met people face to face. I've met a few who have come to Australia. But Yeah, I have proved to them that I am in fact real.
Yeah, you're real.
It's great.
Have you met TomSka yet? Because he was like the first person you worked for.
No, not yet. I do really need to meet him though, because
Yeah,
like
you
I
guys
said, he
gotta
was
set
kind of
something
like
up.
he was like the first like YouTuber I worked with when I was, well, actually, yeah, 15, because when he still ran Edward, I like animated I did like a comic or whatever. Um
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely, the next place I want to go to is England for sure. Or he's gonna come down to Australia.
Oh
We
yeah.
gotta figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah. Just get him over there.
Love that guy. He actually messaged me recently when I worked on a hell of a bus project that came out, and he was just like, "I can't believe that like you were the like you're like the first person. I was the first person you worked with, and it's cool to see how far you've come." And I was just like, "What the fuck, Tom?
Oh.
You can't message me like that." It was like 3 in the morning. I was like, "That's too sweet."
Yeah, 3 in
Shut
the
up.
morning for you. It's probably like a normal hour. For
1 p.m. for
else.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so sweet. Oh. Yeah, because you've worked
Love
on
him.
Crash Zoom as well.
Mhm.
And they're finally making another episode, which is exciting.
Yes, I was doing background art for I think like 3 videos. I don't know if I'm going to do background art this time, just with my animation projects. But I did get a message from the lead animator Billy, who I brought up his name a few times. We've worked together on several of Tom's projects and Edswold. He was just like, if you're interested in doing animating, so maybe I'll work on the next question. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
We shall see. To be announced.
To be announced. I hear like a little squeak noise. Do you have birds? I wanted to ask.
Oh yes, sorry, yes. My office is right outside like a tree that birds like to sit on.
Oh,
and
I thought you had like pet
squawk.
birds. Okay.
No. Just one cat for me.
Nice. Yeah, definitely don't get birds then. It's not a good combo.
No.
There's 2 more questions. Which is from Morgan VA. What's the project where you've had the most fun? Be that a pilot, a video, or something completely different?
The most fun I think was I'll give one answer for recent, and then I'll give one answer for like all time.
Yeah.
First one, Asif movie, because that was just one of those shows that I never thought I would work on. And it's just like, again, Asif movie was like one of those like shows that I watched equally as much as I did like Edswold when I was like 11 and 12.
Yeah.
And I knew that Tom at one point had stopped making Asif movie. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I probably won't get the chance to work on it. And my friend Billy knew how much I wanted to work on Asif movie. He had worked on a few Asif movie videos himself, and he was just like, hey, I'm gonna need like another animator to help out. So that was a very surreal experience. He and I, like, we've both been like animating together for as long as I can remember. Like, so love that guy. Love Billy Crinion. Second project probably was like the first Edswold video I worked on, which was the casting audition.
Oh, casting call.
The auditions one. Yeah, casting call. That's it. Because that one I wasn't even supposed to animate on.
Oh,
I got hired on the Edswold team initially just to be a social media artist, like just to draw their like little like, hey, it's hat day, and just have the Edswold guys wearing hats. But I animated like one shot just for fun, and I showed it to the lead animator Jackie, and she was like, hey, this is good. Do you mind if I use this for the scene? I was like, yeah, go for it. And then suddenly I got to be one of the animators for the video, and I guess like it wasn't announced that I'd be promoted to being an animator. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So that was probably like the first project that I got paid for professionally to do as an animator and not as a background artist. Which, nothing wrong with being a background artist, but animation was something I always wanted to do
Totally.
professionally.
And you did
So it was
the scene with Eduardo, right? I think.
no, I think I did. I kind of worked on which scenes did I work on? God, I think his name's Dave. He one of the voice actors were like one of the creators of Cyanide and Happiness. Dave something. I forgot his last name, but then I just kind of helped out with the rest of the video here and there with like lip syncing, and just like I've always kind of tried to be like a last minute guy in helping out with videos. Like just like if something needs to get done, I can jump in and help out. And that's what I used to do that a lot, where if there was a scene that needed to be animated a little differently, but the animator wasn't available, I just kind of swoop in. Or like hell, even with like Hell of a Boss, I've been like that, where like the lead will message me and be like, "Hey, can you get this done?" Because I don't know. Like I said, always been the last minute guy.
Yeah, you're a day
like,
ahead, so.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. So like that's probably why they just like they're able to sleep and know that while they're sleeping, I'm working. Like,
yeah, how's the 25th for you, by the way? I forgot to ask.
25th is great. It's cloudy. We're going into winter, unlike the US right now, which is going into summer.
Yeah.
Which I love it. I mean, we did just have flood rain, like flood heavy rain, which has now stopped. So, yeah, no, loving it over here. I'll predict that tomorrow will be good for the rest of the Americans, hopefully.
Yeah, is there anything in the 25th that we should know about? You've got like a day ahead.
Let's see. Like, what's trending on Twitter?
Yeah,
we got
news,
like. Let's see. I got Majima trending on Twitter, so maybe that something will happen tomorrow on
Twitter's
that.
back up finally. Yesterday it was like all broken.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, I just kept getting notifications for like messages from friends that were like 12 hours behind. I was like, okay.
Oh hi, yeah.
Love Twitter. Love that platform. It's never broken.
It's. I wish it wasn't so important for like indie work.
God, you fucking say that twice. I mean, Blue Sky thankfully has been the one platform that has done somewhat well, and it's nice to see that it's still slowly growing. Yeah. But yeah, Twitter, unfortunately, I think it's just one of those platforms with how much more toxic it's gonna get. It's like as a creative, it's important to have.
Yeah.
That or Instagram.
Instagram's great. David, we have one more question.
One more question, all right.
This is from Beetle, and they'd like to know, on a real note, what animation software do you find the easiest to use and learn?
Easiest to use and learn? I would always recommend Adobe Animate because it's just like the user interface is it's so simple, and there are hundreds of tutorials. That is the one thing I will give Adobe, is that you can watch a tutorial from like 15 years ago and it'll still apply to the software now. Except for maybe some of the newer features, which like even then people are making tutorials of. But honestly, like if you're an animator who's looking to get into the industry scene, like I think the one thing I have regretted as an animator was not learning Toon Boom sooner, because it's definitely with like Adobe Animate, it's a simple user interface. You can like figure shit out easily. With Toon Boom, it's like it's a whole new world, and the way I learned how to use it was probably the worst way, because I applied for Hell of a Boss and I told them like, yeah, I've used the software a few times, and then when they actually reached out to me, I had to learn how to use the program.
Oh my god!
Which was like, so the test I submitted for Hell of a Boss was actually like my first Toon Boom animation I'd ever made. So I was like thinking to myself, like, I'm not gonna get this job. This isn't gonna happen. And somehow I got it.
Yeah, because you said in the other animation interview, that you had like you called up friends and then had them help you throughout it, like last minute.
Yeah. I was just like, how the fuck do you use this? Because the Toon Boom tutorials, that's another thing. The Toon Boom tutorials, like, they're okay, but they're not. I don't know, they're not as great as like the Adobe tutorials where like you can watch one from like 10 years ago and it'll still apply to the software now. Whereas Toon
Yeah.
Boom, it's like it's grown so much over the years and you have to watch so many more tutorials. Like it almost reminds me of like Blender tutorials, like because then you have like a whole section on how to like draw on the screen, then you have a whole section on like how to animate, and then a whole section on like here's what the node view is. Whereas Adobe Animate, you could have one tutorial that's like here's this and this is all you need to know. Like
ahead,
good luck. Yeah. I'm actually amazed that I've had some friends who first learned Toon Boom message me and be like, hey, so how do you use Adobe Animate? Because I feel like it's so much more complex, and it's just this bizarro world where I have to like get on call. I'm like, you fucking serious?
Yeah,
like it's so easy.
Draw button.
the draw button's there. You can tween your animation here. That happened with a friend of mine who joined the Jaden team. They're like so experienced in Toon Boom and Toon Boom rigging that when they joined the Jaden team, they're like, yeah, so Jaden only uses Adobe Animate. So how do I? And I was like, I had to get on call with them and kind of do the same thing my friend did for me with like Hell of a Boss. I was just like, here's this and this and this, and you draw with this, and very easy. They were able to learn a lot quicker than I learned Toon Boom.
Yeah. Did you make your VTuber as well in Toon Boom or Animate or?
I used a combination of both. Because I don't know, it was like I drew the character in Toon Boom, I tweened it in Toon Boom, and then I had to like export the PNGs, and Toon Boom has like a weird import-export system, so I had to like use Adobe Animate instead to kind of just fix up some of the frames. And then I just took that into another program called VideoTube, and lo and behold, he yapping.
The export issues, does that mess up animations for like Has-Been or Helva? And you have to like
it's just so much more advanced. Like that's another thing where I say like Adobe Animate is better in some regards, because it's just like you can export a video out in Adobe Animate and it'll just come out as an MP4. Like all the colors will be accurate. Nothing wrong with it at all. Whereas like exporting anything in Toon Boom, like you have to mess around with the settings a bit. Like recently I had to like fix up an export setting because my colors kept coming out inaccurately.
That would drive me insane.
Which was a bit of a pain in the ass. And thankfully Hell of a Boss, they have like, since my department is not like the final department on Hell of a Boss, I just give my files to someone else who manages that, and they export them out great, and it looks beautiful. Whereas like the odd ones out, an ice cream sandwich, we export like PNGs out, or like MOVs, which are bigger unnecessary files.
Yeah.
It's just, again, so to answer that question, I think if you're a beginner animator, I want to say use Adobe Animate because it'll be such a friendlier experience. But on the other hand, it's like if you see yourself wanting to do animation professionally, might be a good place to like start learning how to use Toon Boom now. But I also get that it's about price range as well. Like I think both of them are as equally expensive, or just be one of those super insane animators who animate like Flipnote on their
like
phone,
or an
you know,
like Nintendo 3DS. There you go.
Yeah, like fucking just be different from the rest. Whatever floats your boat. I just find that like I've been using Adobe since like the Flash 8 days. So
yeah, I just want to say thank you like so much for coming on here. I'm so glad you did, because I've been seeing you like everywhere on Twitter, and I was like, I wonder if he'd be down for an interview.
Yeah, that's the perk of being terminally online.
Yeah,
I'm everywhere.
Me too. So, thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Well, I hope the rest of your 25th is amazing.
And I hope that your upcoming 25th will be great. It should be, according to my day.
Your updates. Yeah, let me know if anything catastrophic happens, and I'll prepare.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Well, have an awesome day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.